Today we're making corn-free marshmallows. We're going to start with a stand mixture, fit it with a whisk attachment. We're going to have a half a cup of cold water to our bowl. And we're going to need 3 packets of unflavored gelatin. And we're going to just sprinkle that on top. That's one. And this process is called blooming your gelatin. And we're going to let this sit for 10 minutes for the blooming to occur. And then we'll get started on making our hot syrup mixture. That will be added into the gelatin. Alright, we're going to come over to our stove. You're going to need a medium-sized saucepan. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of water, 2 cups of sugar, and 2/3 cup of agave syrup, making it best corn-free. We need to bring this to a boil. Okay, we're going to stir our mixture. It has to come to a boil, and then it's going to boil it for exactly 1 minute. But while we're doing that, I have the timer set to let our gelatin bloom, and that needs to bloom for 10 minutes. So we're just going to stir this while we wait for it to boil. Alright, we can see now that it's finally come to a boil. We're going to let it boil rapidly for 1 minute, so I'm going to put on my timer. And stir, 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 so it doesn't go foaming out of my pot. I'm going to turn it down just a little so I don't make a huge mess that I have to clean up after I try to make marshmallows. And this is going to make our syrup, just like you do when you make candy. We're going to turn that off. Alright, this is what it looks like after 10 minutes worth of blooming. And now we're going to add our simple syrup that we've removed from the heat. But before we do that, we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. That's my 10 minutes are up. Pretty loud, huh? Okay. Now we're going to stick this in, turn it on low, and we're going to very carefully begin to drizzle our syrup just down the side of the bowl. Begin to turn it up. You see it beginning to form the air bubbles. Turn it up again. I'm going to turn it up all the way on high. Now we're going to finish off the syrup. You're going to let it whisk for 12 minutes. Now I'm going to set my timer. And within that 12 minutes, you will really see it begin to foam and the marshmallows begin to take shape. All right, it has been 12 minutes. And you can see it's beautiful and glossy white. You're going to take a dish. I like thicker marshmallows. So I took a dish that is smaller, but you can easily do a lasagna size pan. It's up to you. I just like them thick and chunky. But whatever pan you use, make sure that you use cooking spray and you grease the pan, because these are, of course, very sticky. But the other thing is you can also put on parchment paper and then make sure you just grease the parchment paper and they will come out perfectly smooth on top. I've also done it with plastic wrap. If you don't have parchment paper, you can feel free to use saran wrap. But again, if you line your pan with that, make sure that you grease the plastic wrap thoroughly. So I'm going to be very awkward trying to show you how I put it in. But you just pour it in, scrape all the sides down. Kids will love you for making them. And of course, you know, they have different colored marshmallows. You can always add Indian tree, all natural dyes if you want to give it a little color. And because, especially if you want to make it pink or something frilly, the beautiful thing about that, or you can use beet powder and just add that in at the beginning. But one of the few things about that is when you, since these are no baking, it will retain its color. And then you just smooth it out. See, I'm going to have nice big chunky marshmallows. That's how my kids like them. And you just smooth them out. If you want to cover these while they rest, either use another piece of parchment that is well oiled with your cooking spray or plastic wrap, whatever you use. Spray it, put it on top, and you'll just need to let it sit for a couple hours or until they're nice and firm. Then when that's done, I'll show you how to take them out. We'll dust them in some powdered sugar. We'll use some small cookie cutters, and we'll show you that you can even make shapes out of them. All right, we're now done with our marshmallows. We've let them sit for 2 hours. I happen to let mine sit overnight because, excuse me, I got busy. But I did grease a piece of parchment paper and laid it on top. And so if we can zoom in, you can now see what the marshmallows actually look like. If you use plastic wrap, that's what I was saying, you would end up with more creases. But here is what it looks like. I kind of already took a slice off because I did a little variation. And now I'm going to pull them out of my pan onto a cutting board. And remove it. And they're beautiful and white. And I got chocolate fingers. So did you want to zoom in? And then we're just going to grease a knife because marshmallows are, of course, sticky. So I'm going to grease my knife with cooking spray because they are going to stick. And you can make them as big or as narrow as you want them. You can use cookie cutters. I have done that and made fun shapes like dog bones and bunnies. And so you can see that's what your marshmallow is going to look like. You can cut them into cubes. That's what I usually do if I want to put them in marshmallows or if I want to make s'mores. I'm going to move this chunk out of my way. And one of the fun things you can do is you can make magic shell, which is just 1/4 cup of dairy-free, gluten-free chocolate chips. I use Enjoy Life. There we go. And 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. Then you just put it in the microwave every 30 seconds to make sure you're not going to burn your chocolate. Stir it until it's smooth, and it looks like this when it comes out. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take our marshmallows and you dip them in. You can do as many sides as you like. I'm not wild about getting my fingers all disgusting. but that's what happens. So there it is. Beautiful chocolate. So I leave one side open. You can put it on a stick if you want to serve them like a marshmallow kebab with bananas and make a kebab. So I leave one side vacant. And then magic shell only works like on ice cream because the ice cream's cold. So we're going to need to take those, put those in the freezer for 2 minutes, and it comes out looking like this. And then you have chocolate covered marshmallows. Now, to finish up with the marshmallows that we have, I told you these are sticky. So before you store them, you're going to want to put your marshmallows in the bowl. See, they're already sticking. But if you take powdered sugar, this is corn-free because we're corn-free, and all I did was take regular sugar, put it in my Vitamixer on high, and ground it down into this powder, and you just need to give your marshmallows a toss, and then you can store them in an airtight container. And so there's your marshmallows. And they're ready for eating. Hot cocoa, s'mores, you got it. You're ready for it. There you go. Marshmallows are ready. I should call the kids, huh? Hey, kids! Oh, see, now they're not going to come. You're going to think I don't have any children. I really do.